Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. And in this video, I wanted to make a card that is simple stamping. It's using stamps, ink, and paper only. It's a great card idea for if you're just beginning in card making or if you're looking for a quick card to put together to send to someone. So I love this set, and I'm using this Hugs, Prayers, Love sentiment and this beautiful stem of foliage here. So let's get started. Let's look at the cardstock we're going to need. First, I did a portrait style card that's like a tent fold, and I cut my cardstock in half at 4 1/4 inches, okay, all the way down. So that's 11 inches and scored at 5 1/2. Now I have some other pieces of cardstock, all Night of Navy, okay? So here we have a strip of cardstock that is cut at 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Another piece that is 1 5/8 by 2 1/8. And a strip here that is 1/4 inch wide by 5 1/4 inches long. Now this strip is what I call an alternative to ribbon, okay? And you'll see what I mean as we put the card together. So next we need some basic white cardstock. So our card is basically 2 colors, and then we're going to add a little bit of designer series paper. So I have 2 pieces cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and then this small piece that is cut at 1 1/2 by 2, and that's for our sentiment. So let's get started. Put this aside, and we'll go ahead and do our stamping on this little piece first. I'm going to get my Night of Navy ink, which is the same color as our cardstock, and we are just using one color of ink, okay, keeping it simple. All right, here's the Hugs, Prayers, and Love, and it's mounted on a clear block, and this is block B. And I'm going to ink that up, just tapping lightly and checking my stamp to see if it's all covered with ink. And then I'm going to line this up on my grid sheet, and then I'm going to stamp right in the center. There you go. All right, now I'm going to do some more stamping on this. I'm going to use my Night of Navy ink, but I'm going to show you how you get more than one color or one tone of this color from the same ink pad. So this is a little plain like this. You could use it like that, but there's a very easy way to dress it up a little bit. So here's that stem, and it's mounted on block E. And I'm going to ink it up. And the Night of Navy is a rather dark ink. It's one of our darkest inks. So we call this first generation stamping, which is directly off the ink pad, and you can see how dark that is. And that might hide our sentiment. So I'm going to stamp off that second generation. Okay, that's still a little dark. Okay, so let's see what third generation stamping looks like. That's a little better. Let's try fourth. Okay, I like that. So you see all the different tones and shades of the blue that I got just from the one ink pad. So I know I'm going to stamp off 4 times. So here I'm inking it up, checking the stamp. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th time is going to be on this piece of the Whisper White where we put our sentiment. I'm going to fold this so I don't get any of that ink on it that I just previously stamped. I've got this still ready to go, so I'm just going to go over just like at an angle, and then I'm going to turn it upside down and come this way. So you see what a difference that made? Okay, you can still read the sentiment, but you've got a little bit of dressing up of that sentiment piece. All right, now let's start assembling. Okay, so I have this other piece of Night of Navy, and I'm just going to mount that over the top. I'm using our liquid glue. This is a great glue to use, and I love it because it's very forgiving. If you don't get the cardstock exactly the right placement the first time, like just then, I can still move it a little bit before it's set, okay? So there we have that. Now let's look at our card base, and we'll build up from there. So I'm going to take my bone folder and give that a good crease on that score line, okay? And so see how it's lying flat now? All right. Now I'm going to take this piece of Whisper White, and I am going to just put that over the top, and I'm centering it top to bottom, side to side, and you can see how that leaves a little Night of Navy border around the sides. And I'm going to put a little bit down the middle there. Just a small bead of glue and a little strips. And there I have it, just like that. Okay. And I always check to make sure I have my card opening the right way before I start building it up. Okay, next I'm going to take this wider strip of the Night of Navy, and here is the little added bonus. This is a piece of In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and it's going to layer over top of this one, and it's just going to be bordered on two sides there, okay? This blue color here is Night of Navy, so we know it coordinates with the rest of our card. So that's going to go there, but first let's put this strip on. And you can see most of our designer papers are two-sided patterns on both sides, so you have lots of choices for your card making. All right, let's go ahead and take this and center it. It goes all the way top to bottom, but it's just got a wee bit of a border on the sides, okay? Now this is going to go in the center of that basic white on our card front. Let's go ahead and put that down. Again, just a small bead of glue. You want to try to get in those corners so they don't curl up, but not put too much glue too close to the edge so that when you press it down, it doesn't squish out of the sides, for lack of a better term. All right, there we go. Now we can go ahead and put, see how I could move that? It didn't look too straight to me, so I was able to still move it because the liquid glue is still wet. So this I want to put over to the right a little bit where it overhangs onto the white, okay? Just, you could do it this way, but look at that. It just pops a little more when you move it over and have some of that white background behind it. So here I go again with the liquid glue. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that, eyeball it, center it top to bottom, and leave about 3/8 of an inch, half of an inch. I don't know, put your finger there. All right, just eyeball it. It's good. You can't make mistakes. It'll be your design. Now this ribbon, this piece of cardstock, very thin, 1/4 inch wide, and I'm going to put that here. Now, I call it a ribbon alternative because this is also a place where I could have put some matching ribbon, but this just keeps it easy, minimal supplies, like I said, especially if you're just starting out, and you can make some beautiful cards with supplies that you start out with, and then build your collection from there. Okay, so there we go. See there, isn't that beautiful? Now let's go ahead and I'm going to put this on the inside because the Night of Navy cardstock is a little dark, okay, to write on unless you had a white pen. But I like to put a piece of basic white or very vanilla, depending on what light neutral I'm using, on the inside. And I normally cut them 4 by 5 1/4 where I'll have that border all the way around. But first, I think I want to stamp on this a little bit. Okay, so I want to ink up this foliage stamp. I guess it's some type of a fern. I don't know. I'm not that great with plants. Stamps, yes. Plants, not so much. Okay, I'm going to just put this, let me do this like this. come down. You see I stamped off twice so that it wouldn't be too dark. Ink it up, stamp, stamp again. So this is 3rd generation stamping. I want to leave myself some room to write a message. So that's why I have the scrap paper underneath so that it doesn't get your actual work surface inked up, okay? And then you can just discard this. So now we've got that ready to go. And let's go ahead and put it on the inside. Again with our liquid glue. And oh, what a pretty card. I know just who I'm going to send this to. Okay, there we go. All right, and then you could always add more embellishments. You could put rhinestones, whatever, but look, it's very pretty and would be so welcomed. You could just be the light for someone. So here is one of our basic white envelopes, and I took some designer paper and just covered the flap so that it would coordinate. And there you have a pretty card you can send to someone. Okay, don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions if you're just getting started or if you're not with card making, and I would love to help you. Visit my website here at inkandinspirations.com for more ideas, and be sure you sign up for my mailing list so you can get all the things sent to you in a weekly email. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.